Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Fab's in the house. And today I'm in the house with the F95 NL Mokuti inlay from Shirogorov Knives. But hey, don't forget to like the video and to subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying this kind of content. So let's see what do we have here, because this is a pretty popular knife. This is the F95 NL. It's a 8.75 inch long overall knife with a 3.75 inch long blade and 5 inch long handle. But let's see how this guy compares up against, for example, some couple options here. You see the Ontario Rad number 1 and the Ontario Rad number 2 right over here. And of course, yeah, this is a big boy. It's even bigger than the Ontario Rad number 1, which is not a small one by any means. For example, this is up against the Spyderco Para 3 and up against the Spyderco Paramilitary 2. Look at that. Better handle to blade ratio. The handle is a little bit longer than that, but look at the cutting edge. It's remarkable. Really, really cool. If we check it up against the offerings from by Chris Reeve Knives, you can see right over here small Sebenza 21, and here you can see the large Sebenza 21. And this is a 3.6 inch long blade, and you can see the size. Yeah, it's comparable to the large Sebenza, but still a little bit bigger. Another Russian-based company, it's CKF Custom Knife Factory. This is the 520 designed by Philippe Georget, and this is also Custom Knife Factory, but this is designed by Peter Rassenti, and it's the Snafu 2.0. And as you can see, this is a big boy, so it's bigger than that. This is a 4 inch long blade, but the cutting edge of the 3.75 inch long blade of the F95 is longer. Another couple options you can see right over here. This is the Shirogorov Neon Zero, and this is the Shirogorov F95 R Slim, like the, let's say, smaller, broader, but more expensive than this guy, because this is the newest generation. This is older generation. You can also check my comparison between these two guys over here. And you see, of course, this is the same size, but compared to the Neon Zero, of course, that's the difference. Another couple options from France. This is the Fontenelle Pateau L'Aiguillole Nature, and this is the Fontenelle Pateau Laitière Nature. And as you can see, this is pretty much comparable with the L'Aiguillole, much slimmer than the Shirogorov, but pretty much the same size. I want to show you just another couple of options here. This is the Koenig Knives Arius. Really, really beautiful blade, and another US made fantastic one, Holt Blade Works Spectre version 3 Prestige. What else can I show you? Just another Russian right over here, because we have it in the house. This is the Igor Oleynikov Inspire, and yeah, just because we are in Russian theme, look at that, Custom Knife Factory MCAD MPAT. Right there, Anthony Malishev designed. So let's see what do we have here, because guys, this is that's a pretty cool one. It's the Shirogorov F95 NL with these pretty cool Mokuti inlays. This is a one-off. It's an expensive knife. It's going to be around $1,100 US. It's made in Russia. It's an older version, because this is the F95 NL, which is the previous version of the F95R, which means refined. And for example, this guy over here is the F95R Slim, so which means it has like a thinner stock for the scales and for the blade as well, and there's some skeletonization on the inside. The blade has some little differences. Just check out the comparison between these two guys. But anyways, this is the F95 NL, not R. So it means it has some older technology, but some still some good stuff going on. For example, M390 blade. But let's check the handle. For example, this is a Mokuti inlay, so this is like Timascus basically. So it's a few alloys of titanium welded together, like in Damascus would happen, and to create like this shimmering, pretty cool colors on both sides. Of course, you have inlays on both sides. And it's usually you can see this in carbon fiber, you can see it in G10, you can see in micarta, and there's different steels matched with those inlays. But in this case, you have Mokuti, you have M390, and you have an F95 regular. So there's no skeletonization on the inside, and that's going to reflect on the weight for sure. You have some nice chamfering, of course, going on the outside or around all the perimeter, and of course on the inside right over here. There is no backspacer, just like a standoff like this guy over there, and you can see that there's only one hole for your lanyard in the presentation scale right there, and it's not passing through, so you're just gonna have to use it like here, and just pretty straightforward. I mean, you have no jimping on the back, you only have a little bit of jimping going on the spine of the blade. It's not that deep, not that aggressive. It's a classic Shirogorov jimping, except for example if you see like a custom division one has a different jimping right there. Also, if you check, these inlays are pretty cool. Like, I like the design. It's very proportionate, and it's nicely made. They're almost flush as they are the screws. You can see in the back that you can notice like a screw right over here. This is going to be for the lock face insert. It's a stainless steel insert right there. So this is going to serve to eliminate any lock stick created by the titanium frame lock in this case, and the steel of the blade, because the titanium is softer, so therefore it has the tendency to create some lock stick. That's why stainless steel lock face insert is going to eliminate that. That's a pretty cool one. This guy also has a lock bar stabilizer integrated in the design, so there's no risk for you to be overextending the lock bar and bending it too much on this side. So that's pretty good deal. You have the classic internal lock release, lock cutout, let's say, right over there, and you have just some milling area right underneath the clip to create a little bit more depth for you when you just snag this guy into your pocket. You're gonna have a little bit more area right under the clip to snag the fabric. That's a very, very good one. This knife is pretty easy to disassemble. You can check out my video about that, and you're gonna see that you're gonna need basically two bits. One for the pivot, larger, and one for the handle screw that's a little bit smaller. You're gonna need probably a proprietary tool to do that, but you can pull it off if you're careful with some coin. I don't advise that because you can risk to mar the screws, but yeah, this is something that Shirogorov is known to use, and they're gonna probably use them for a while, because that's kind of like their signature screws, and it's like, you know, like a Pac-Man kind of screw going on, and I like it. You know, you buy the extra tool, it's an extra cost, I get it, but it's part of the fun, right? Because they do pretty cool tools to take this guy apart. Inside you're gonna find some loose ball bearings arranged in a single row configuration, because you can see maybe right over there there's a logo for single row bearing system, SRBS, which is the pivot system going on under the hood in this case right there. The pocket clip is titanium. In this case has a dual finish. You see there's some polished flats. There's some nice dual chamfering going on the sides. Very, very nice indeed. It's the classic Shirogorov pocket clip. A little bit different than the one you find, for example, on the F3 or on the custom division series. It's tip-up carry only, not reversible. It's not ambidextrous. And you know, it's very nicely designed. In this case you have some pretty strong tension going on, so it's going to be pretty securely attached to your pocket. The blade is classic Shirogorov style, nice drop point. You have a very, very small amount of chamfering right there, right next to the jimping, which is subtle, it's shallow, it's not aggressive, it's not that efficient, but it's functional. You can feel it. It adds a little bit of grip, so it's good, but it's not as good probably as the custom division series, which has a little bit more spacing going on between the grooves, and it's gonna be a little bit more grippy, if we can say that. Then you have a nice spine, very, very gently chamfered, not that much. And then you have, I would say, probably like 40% belly and straight edge up to the sharpening choil. Classic triangular Shirogorov plunge grind. No Shirogorov logo over here because, of course, it's right here. And you have this beautifully chamfered sharpening choil right there, very, very cool, right next to the flipper tab, which is designed beautifully. One of the best flipper tab in the industry, 100%. Like, it goes down and it's fantastic, both for like a light switch, for a push button, really, really cool. You have pretty much a sterile blade on this side, flat grind, almost full flat grind, and you're gonna notice that the polished, the flats have been polished nicely. Look at that, nice and shiny. On the other side, you're gonna notice the M390 logo, of course, flat polished, and this is like a stone, really, really finely stone washed blade, like the medium used to stone wash. This blade is fantastic, really, really subtle and fine and classy, if you ask me. So really, almost clean and sterile looking blade, except for this little M390 logo right there. If you check the sound department of this guy, it's the classic Shirogorov sound. Not too loud. When you close it, it's super classy and muffled. When you open, you'll hear a little bit of whoosh of the bearings, like that, and just a soft and damped click when you close the blade. So really, really subtle, really elegant. I have to say, it's not obtrusive, not obnoxious, it's not loud, it's good, it's solid, it's a little bit piercing, high-pitched, but almost quiet, like very almost silent when you just close it. The weight on the pocket of this guy is gonna be 6 ounces, 5.99. So it's not gonna be the lightest Shiro you're gonna own because of the lack of internal skeletonization, and you know, these are pretty thick titanium slabs. Even if it's titanium, you know, it has some heft to it, and also Timasca's inlays are gonna add some extra weight to the package, but it's good. In the hand, you have 0 hotspots. This guy feels great in the hand. It's one of the advantages of the Shirogorov handle. I find it really, really comfortable. Nice chamfering going on all around. It's all rounded off in the spine. It's beautifully done and absolutely comfortable. There's a lack of grip, I think, in this jimping going on. The reverse grip is going to be absolutely stunning. You have a little bit of finger guard created by the flipper tab right over there, and you cannot really choke it up because of the lack of finger choil right there, but it's fine. You know, it feels absolutely solid, even if there's no standoff here. These slabs are thick. There's no flex. Fit and finish is impeccable. Of course, I don't see any gaps, anything out of place. Nicely lined up. Everything is perfectly centered and works as it's supposed to do. There's no blade play. You have a nice clip ramp here. The tension, probably it's a little bit on the strong side in this case, but the clip is nicely done. Has a nice feeling when you slide it in and out of your pocket, so it's good. Deployment speed, guys, it's of course it's fantastic. It's fast, it's smooth. There's 0 finger soreness introduced when you fidget or even when you deploy in a repetitive way the blade, because of the beautifully designed shape and jimping and chamfering. It's one of my favorite flipper tabs out there for sure. And you know, I said this is smooth. Yes, this is single row bearing smooth, so faster, probably a little bit faster, less controlled than the multi-row bearings, because it's just one row of ball bearings. And so there's this, you see, just drop shot in a controlled way. It's not like abrupt or like too much scary, but it's a little bit less than the multi-row bearings, I find it, but absolutely smooth and a pleasure to deploy and just to watch it glide down very nicely. Tuned, detent as well, like just the right amount of strength needed to deploy it in a reliable way, guys. This is a very, very cool one. There's one thing, like if you try to jam your finger, you might be able to touch the tip of the blade because they are actually using all the length of the handle to optimize the blade to handle ratio. So just keep that in mind. It's not dangerous. I mean, you just have to jam your finger and try to reach for the tip, and you can barely, I don't know if you can see, I can barely touch, but I cannot cut myself. So I can just feel it. Of course, there's nothing rattling if I shake this guy, and I said it several times. This area here is designed so well, I think, because there's enough room for the thumb to access the lock bar and disengage it. There's some chamfering going on this way, and there's a rounding going on right there. It's just fantastic. You see, like this movement is just beautiful. It's easy, and there's no effort that you're gonna need to put to disengage this one. It's fantastic. There's no detent ball ramp, so you're gonna feel a little bit of hard step right over there, but not a biggie because the angle is just, you see, like it's just like that. So as soon as you overcome that, boom, it's a pleasure. It's fantastic. It's free falling. There's some guillotine effect, and also you've got a little bit of detent suction right at the end, so just a little bit of magnetic effect, but not that much. I mean, overall, this is truly an outstanding one. It's a classic. It's the F95 with Mokuti inlays. It's beautifully looking. It's fantastic in the hand. Has a great sound. Probably my only two complaints would be the weight because of the lack of skeletonization and maybe a little bit stiffer pocket clip, but beside that is just it's a classic. It's an evergreen knife, and I really like it. So there you have it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to subscribe, and thanks for watching. Stay tuned.